I think there is a clear directive which is based on the Supreme Court decision, or to the two-bench decision, to say that, because of reasons of security and safety, the mobile numbers, for example, should be tied up with the Aadhar. A better KYC should be done. But let me explain that, the genesis of that, so that the viewers understand what's going on. Over the course of many years, and let's take 2010, and I know Mr. Sanjay Jha is here. When the Aadhar project got kicked off, that point in time, the Aadhar team estimated that about 40 to 42 crore people in India didn't have any form of identity. And the remaining 75 crore people in India had more than one form of identity. So 42 crore people had no form of identity, and 70 plus crore people have not one but multiple forms of identity. And I'll give you an example.
Mr. Gupta, I understand all of those things, but my question was very specifically, is it mandatory to link bank accounts and phone?
Let me explain. I have answered that, but you have to listen to me. You have to understand what is going on. If you don't interrupt for 2 minutes, you will get a better answer, and then I can yield space for everybody else to comment.
All right, fair enough. Go ahead.
I am trying to explain. I gave you the Supreme Court directive also from February, and now I'm giving you a technical basis for it, so bear with me. Now what happens is, in India, so there is a category which had 42 crore people without any identity, and there was a category of people who had multiple forms of identity. Needless to say, a lot of our bank accounts, a lot of our telecom connections were operating on proxies, on fakes or duplicates. People did not even know who else is using their PAN cards or any form of KYC, know your customer norms. So now, thankfully, we have a technology built over the last 7 or 8 years where we have a conclusive form of people's identity. 118 crore people in India today have a digital identity, which is the biggest identity system in the world. Now, what this does is that no longer you can fake your KYC documents. You can ask somebody else on your behalf to apply for your SIM connection or maintain bank accounts which are benami in nature. So there was a big telecom operator last year which actually enrolled about 110 million, about 11 crore people into the mobile system using this KYC technology that we have today. And the directive has been that you link your mobile numbers to this, and this has been a directive for some time, and basically get rid of all the fake documentation or people operating on somebody else's behalf. So this is the secure way of making sure that the right KYC papers or KYC documents are linked to your SIM cards or maybe your bank accounts.
All right.
Last point I do want to make is that there is this process will go on, but does not exclude anybody who still has a paper, who still wants to submit paper and get his or her connection or a bank account. It does not exclude that. And yes, there is a Supreme Court, a larger bench which may examine that, and that's the reason this deadline is, I think, till February 6, 2018. So here is, I've laid the basic framework of why the telecom companies or the bank accounts are doing it, and what is really that is happening.
So my question is, Mr. Arvind Gupta, for my viewers who are watching right now, is it mandatory for us to link Aadhar to our phone numbers and our bank accounts?
The easy answer to that lies is, given the last judgment and until a new judgment comes, in my opinion, and I'm not a legal expert, in my opinion,
yes, sir, but it's a yes or no answer.
The last judgment said that you need to do that, and unless there's it's a very simple answer. I'm giving that. In my assessment, the current directive of the Supreme Court, the two bench court holds, and which is saying that you have to link them, and that is what the process the telecom companies are following. Now, I also yield that their messaging may be incorrect, because they're kind of making it like a havoc. So their messaging could be incorrect, but I think the directive is that link all bank accounts and the SIM cards with the Aadhar.
So I have a question there in that case. If you're telling me that it is mandatory right now to link my bank account, if I don't, then my bank account will be blocked. What happens to NRIs who are not residents and by that argument are not even qualified to hold an Aadhar number? Are you going to shut all of their bank accounts? And how are they supposed to function if you shut their bank accounts? Because they can't even, the option of flying down in time to get an Aadhar number is not even an option. They're not entitled to an Aadhar number because they are not residents of this country. So it doesn't, but you're telling me, according to you, it is mandatory. We have to link bank account and Aadhar. I want to take this to Pawan Dugal, who joins us right now, senior advocate with the Supreme Court. Mr. Dugal, do you agree?
No, you did not. Sorry, I have to interrupt there. I have to interrupt there because you presupposed a lot of things, and that is your lack of understanding of how the Aadhar system works, by the way. I have to give you two responses to that before you go to Mr. Dugal, and I will not speak after that, but don't make presuppositions on what I have said. Number one is that I have said that as of right now, the directive exists to link all the accounts to the Aadhar number. Now, whether they will get dysfunctional or not is something that I have not said. Let me be very clear on that. Hold on. It is also a wrong assumption on your part to assume that NRIs or people who are not visiting India cannot get their Aadhar numbers. By the way, they can. Anybody who visits India in a matter of 2 days can get an Aadhar number. And whether they link it their NRE accounts or not is something that the banking system has to decide, not us. But they can get their Aadhar numbers.